This month is dedicated to drug overdose awareness. And the 31st of August, I believe, is Drug Overdose Awareness Day throughout the United States, and particularly here in Suffolk County. But it falls on a Sunday. So we got a few very influential, very capable, very dedicated people together to join with me today to talk about this issue. And first, let me introduce some of my fellow elected officials here. We have Legislator Welker here. Where are you? There she, you can't miss her. Those are great earrings, by the way. We have Legislator Piccirillo here. He has great earrings, too. Yeah. Left him home today. We have Legislator Kennedy, Legislator Sanin. We have Stephanie Stefford, who's representing Legislator Lennon. We have our Deputy Presiding Officer of the Legislature, Steve Flatteran. Steve, give a wave. We have Legislator Bontempi, all the way from...
To your left.
Oh, there we go. She was over at the IDA. I walked by and I said hello to those guys. I'm sure it was going to get hot and heavy there.
And it did.
It did? Oh, okay, whatever. Do we have our comptroller here? You're representing him in spirit. Okay. Okay, he's somewhere.
He's paying bills.
And we also have Dr. Pickett, who is our Commissioner of Health. Now, a lot of people are going to speak today. We're going to keep our remarks very brief, but the message is very succinct. We know that drug addiction is a disease, and we have to begin to treat it like a disease. And we've got to look not only, most importantly, for prevention and education, but also treatment. People can overcome their addiction with appropriate treatment, and it's very, very hard and difficult. But we know what drug abuse does to families. We know what it does to communities. We know how harmful it is to the future of this county. And we care about everyone. And if we care and we see someone falling into the web of addiction, it's on us to do something, to have programs available, and more importantly, to also have programs available so people don't fall into the addiction. I have two very sad things that I do every single year as county executive, and I always dread when that letter comes in. When someone dies, an infant, a child in Suffolk County, we get an infant fatality letter describing the circumstances and everything of that nature. And actually, one of those letters dealt with an infant that died from fentanyl because their parents were involved in mixing fentanyl with drugs. But just a child dying is very sad. The other thing I did is I have to deal with the medical examiner's office. We had almost 400 deaths last year from drug overdose. When I get those reports, I think of the families involved. I think of the sadness. I think of the impact on the community. I think of a life that could have turned out so much differently and so much positively for that person, for their family, for the community. And I just look at drugs and want to fight against it and do what I can so that people don't fall into that web. And it is a disease, and it can be treatable. It's difficult, but we all have to work together. So on Drug Overdose Awareness Day this Sunday, I'll be thinking of all those people that are suffering and the impact they have on their friends and family, on their grandmother. on everyone. We all have to step up. And instead of cursing the darkness, we've got to light some candles. We've got to give people hope. We've got to work on that. And that is so important in this life. Now, I already said more than I should have, but I want you to know that I am committed to doing something about this and working with the agencies. And there's a ton of not-for-profits, some of them are going to speak today, that have worked countless hours to try to help address this problem. And let me tell you, if you think, oh, well, this is just a problem over there, this affects everyone in Suffolk County. And if you talk to people long enough, you find out some way a friend, a relative, someone is impacted by using drugs. And some of these drugs have become extremely dangerous. In fact, I just was made aware, where's George? George O'Brien, a detective, made aware by George of another drug that's out there from China that's Narcan resistant and far more powerful than even fentanyl. So I'm like, this is a battle that we can't lose. We've got to win. And it's not a battle that requires an effort here and there. It's a battle that requires our effort every single day in Suffolk County. So I've said too much. Let me get to the people that really know something about this. Let me start with our good friend Steve Chaseman, who's the Executive Director of the Council for Alcohol and Drug Dependence. He's been at this for years and a tremendous advocate. Steve.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive, and to our legislators and elected officials. Thank you for hosting this in recognition of what is International Overdose Awareness Day. Tomorrow at Thrive, which is just down the street, first Long Island Recovery Center, founded by some not-for-profits 9 years ago, we'll be reading the names of Long Islanders who have lost their battle to overdose or poisoning. So it's not just recognition of our loss and grieving. It's also unifying and making sure that history is not prologue. Mr. County Executive, bringing elected officials, bringing the government of Suffolk County to work with not-for-profits is exactly how we've been able to get things done. Thank you for your statistics from our county medical examiner. 400 people is too many. And yes, overdoses are down nationally, statewide, but now is not the time to take our foot off the gas. Wide accessibility to Narcan. We need to continue to save lives. To the Suffolk County Police Department and first responders, thank you for saving lives every day and every night. Education and prevention. LICAD is one of a multitude of agencies, and they're here today teaching about drug awareness from kindergarten up through college and healthy coping strategies. And the county executive mentioned it. Treatment is real. August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day, but September 1st starts National Recovery Month. There are 23 million Americans this day living in long-term recovery from substance use disorders. And we have the Family and Children's and the Central National Guidance and the LICADs and the Wellbridges and the Seafields that are here. We are very rich in treatment here in Suffolk and Nassau County. Accessibility to get the help that individuals and family needs is imperative. Bringing this press conference together, Mr. County Executive, thank you for recognizing what is ahead of us in Overdose Awareness Day and National Recovery Month. And we will take this as your commitment, as you always have been, a partner in turning the corner on what is and continues to be one of the most deadly public health crises that this county, this island, and this country has seen. Thank you.
Dr. Pickett?
Thank you, County Executive. Just like to say that the Suffolk County Department of Health Services, and in particular, our Division of Community Mental Hygiene Services under the capable direction of Carrie Faith Besserman, we have been partners in this fight, and it's a fight. We continue to have the scourge of fatalities due to opiate overdoses. It's still an issue here in Suffolk County. We have made some strides, but we're still your partners. Lately, and most recently, we have updated our behavioral health resource guide to make it much more user-friendly, web-based. That is on our health department website, www.suffolkcountiny.gov/health. And if you look there and go for the directory of behavioral health resources, you'll see a nice, easy-to-read layout for people that are looking to access treatment. I'd like to say treatment is really, in the last 5 years, has been much more easy to access, and in particular, medication-assisted treatment, where you can go to a treatment center and not just get a script for buprenorphine, Suboxone. There are now community-based centers that are offering methadone, which is another excellent way to prevent fatalities due to opioid overdoses. So we have a long way to go, but we are making strides. So thank you very much.
Including our clinic in Riverhead. Dr. Jeff. This is a guy that's been in the fight for a while.
Make me sound old, Ed. So I'm Jeff Reynolds. I'm the President and CEO of Family and Children's Association. I want to thank the county executive and our partners in government. It's great to see so many people here, because once we begin pulling all in the same direction, that's the way we win over epidemics. You know, it's 20 years into this crisis now, so it's by no means a new crisis. We're probably in phase 4 or 5 of the crisis. But last year marked the first time in modern history where we could talk about actually turning the tide on the number of fatal overdoses. That's great news for those families who won't have to go to funerals, won't have to bury their kids, won't have to go through holidays having lost a loved one. It's bad news because we're still losing more than a person a day in Suffolk County. Until that number is 0, we can't stop. I'm all for 10% reductions, 20% reductions, because every life makes a difference. But until that number is 0, we can't quit. As Steve Chasman mentioned, prevention, which should start now as kids return to school, with conversations in families, access to treatment on demand, not 2 weeks down the line, not 60 miles from your home, treatment on demand in a place and way that works for you. Support for people in recovery, because as we talk about the gains we've made and the people we're keeping alive, that's a gift, but those folks require services and supports in order to stay on that road to recovery. And then finally, harm reduction, because we know more than ever before there are folks that are not ready for treatment for whatever reason, can't access treatment, and we have a moral obligation to keep them alive long enough to ever darken the doorway of a Seafield, a Phoenix House, CN Guidance, FCA Lakehead, somewhere else. And so today should not necessarily be a commemoration. It should be a reaffirmation of the things we need to do moving forward. And we should make sure that every day we're talking about bringing that number down and focused almost on nothing else until we get there. So again, to our partners in government, to our partners in the treatment, prevention, and recovery world, thank you for everything you do. We still got work to do.
We have another doctor with us today, Dr. Odette Hall. Look around. There you are. Yes, in the back.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Dr. Odette Hall. I'm the Chief Medical Examiner of Suffolk County. And as was mentioned before, drug overdose deaths are trending downward. Deaths overall nationally are also trending downward. Unfortunately, drug overdose deaths still represent about 25% of our total deaths. We are still seeing drug overdoses happen, although they're happening at a lower rate. The men and women that work at the medical examiner's office are charged with investigating those deaths, investigating the circumstances of those deaths, but also what many may not realize is that we actually face the families in their acute moments of grief. They have to come to our office and speak with us. They have to come to our office and speak with our investigators. So while the numbers are down, we'd like to see them continue to go down, and we'd like to see some of that grief decrease.
And we're building a new medical examiner's.
And we are building a new medical examiner's office. Yes, we are.
Get up to Carol from Gabriel's Giving Tree. Come on up.
Hi.
Carol
Thank you.
is a parent of an overdose victim, and she can talk about that, uniquely qualified to do that. It's a very sad distinction.
Thank you, County Executive Romaine, for giving attention to this issue. I've been thinking how sad it is that we need an overdose awareness day, right, to make people aware of the overdoses when this is the #1 thing killing people 18 to 45 in this country right now. The people over here, my friend Paulette and Sharon, we don't need to be reminded, we don't need a special day for overdose awareness. We don't need a fentanyl awareness or we wake up every morning and those things are on our mind because we have someone missing at our table or a car missing in the driveway. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of Narcan. I do work with the Suffolk County Police Department, sort of helping them distribute it at street fairs, at farmers markets, and the mall. And we've given out thousands this summer. But I still, because I talk to everybody that comes up to the table, the stigma of drug use is probably our biggest enemy. Because the stigma, I think, is what's taken it so long for everybody to wake up about it in the first place. But I've heard some horrible things come out of people's mouths, and I would like to eradicate that. And these are true quotes from people. Well, I don't need that because my kids are good, which is always like a knife in the heart to us, like, oh, we were bad parents, or our kids were bad. And, or I don't have any drug addicts in my house. But the worst ever was when a woman came up to the table and said, why don't they just let these people die? So I would really just urge everyone to please do what you can with education, awareness, to reduce that stigma. And Narcan, while it's not solely responsible for the decrease in overdoses, I certainly think it's a major player, and I urge everyone to have it in their house. And that's about it, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I remember how we got Narcan into our police vehicles. And that was a legislator by the name of John Kennedy. And his wife, she's now our comptroller, and wife, Leslie Kennedy, is county legislator, but she's also chairperson of the health committee and a former nurse for many, many years. So Leslie, you get the last word.
I get the last word. It's going to be repetitive. Education, training, and treatment. We have a reduction in the number of deaths because of everyone standing here, everyone out there, and the people who couldn't make it here today because they're working with people that are suffering. Thank them all. Help is available. We have over 30 agencies that I work with, that we all work with. We have the opioid task force. Call your legislator. If you need something, call your county executive's office. If you need referrals, and we will help you. We've got to get the numbers lower. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have to say, as county executive, I would be remiss if I did not thank all 18 legislators for their help, for their guidance, for their input, and for their commitment to their individual districts and the people that live in them. There are many things that we do as a county. All of them depend on their leadership, and they have not, I can tell you, here a little bit more than a year and a half, all 18 legislators have done a great job for this county, and we all try to work together and all row in one direction, and we're getting a lot done. And I will look to them to the future. Does any of our legislators, I know they're not on the list, but if they want to say any words? Anyone? If not, thank you to my county legislators. I could not do, and this county could not do, without their leadership, their guidance, their input, their wisdom, and their commitment to getting something done. You can't believe how difficult in government it is to try to get something done. But these guys have been great. We work as a team.
Yes,
we
we
stand together as a team. So I am so appreciative of their service to this county. And I guess at this point, Mike says, are there any questions? All right. Thank you, guys.
Good job, Ed, good job.
Hold on, no.